Welcome to RotoWire TV. I'm Heather Ankeny. He's the expert, Chris List, answering our fantasy football and baseball questions. I noticed that the snarky 150 ranking came out today on RotoWire.com.
Yeah, that's my rankings with a little comment for each guy. Like, for instance, Tom Brady.
Oh, you write it?
Yeah, I wrote it, yeah. Tom Brady, obviously Eli Manning's bitch, right? They lost 2 Super Bowls.
Did you really put that on there?
I did, yeah.
And I saw something that I wanted to ask you about, which was, where is he? Maurice Jones-Drew overdrafts himself every year. I think that's funny. He does. I know in his celebrity league, he always takes himself. And this year he happened to have the first pick of the draft, and he took himself. Does something like that, if that happens, someone takes their homer, they take their cowboy because it's a cowboy. Does that mess up the draft for everyone else?
No, it's great for everyone else. Actually, the only way it hurts you is if there's some guy who's actually a good player and you respect his game and you don't want him getting some windfall because some other idiot in the draft kind of took a player that either would be there a lot later or really shouldn't have fallen to that early slot. And so say you're picking 8th and Maurice Jones-Drew takes himself, and then because of that, the guy picking 7th gets, I don't know, Ryan Matthews. And say your heart was set on Ryan Matthews and you certainly didn't want, if you didn't get him, you certainly didn't want the guy picking 7th to get him because he's a very good player, and he wouldn't have got him had the dominoes fallen differently because he didn't take maybe the 9th or 10th overall player on most boards first overall.
Exactly. Like in Vegas, if you're playing blackjack, a lot of times, if somebody hits on what they shouldn't hit on and it completely messes up the entire rest of the horseshoe, people get mad.
It's bad etiquette, in the draft or in a blackjack thing to start telling people what they have to do with their pick and their money. You know what I mean? First of all, and secondly, mathematically, it doesn't matter. Let's say I did something totally wrong. Let's say the dealer had a 6, and I hit on 13, which is clearly wrong, and I get that 7, and the dealer pulls over a 7. Whoa, that dealer would have got a 20, and instead the next card's a 10. Right? I did the wrong thing, but I helped everybody. Mm-hmm. You don't know. Half the time you'll help them, half the time you'll hurt them. Now, I understand as a blackjack player that you want a good rhythm at the table. Everyone's doing the right thing. You're all kind of in it together.
Yes.
But mathematically, I don't think there's a case to be made for that. It's just you could help, or it's just luck. What taking that extra card.
So when we're drafting, is there ever unless those auto draft picks, those kill me when I want the guy and the guy that's auto draft in front of me is going to get my guy. I'm like, no.
That sucks because he might not have taken him if he were there.
He wouldn't have taken him.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
That's bad. The other thing is, but I'll just say, so. You draft whoever you want. Now, the only annoying thing, as I said, is there's somebody who's really good, and they keep getting this excellent windfall because the 3 guys ahead, right before him suck. And you're like, oh, I hope I get him, and the guy ahead of you just keeps snaking those guys, and where he shouldn't be getting them. He's building this really good team because nobody's taking the right guys, at least in your opinion. And so, in that way, it can screw you up. But really, it's better for everybody when somebody screws up. If somebody does, misses a pick, I think, great, I'm 1 pick higher now than I was because I wouldn't have taken that guy.
Or it takes some dude that it's just the wrong value. Taking him way early because they think they're not going to get him.
That doesn't happen in my leagues anymore. None of that happens anymore. Nobody ever. People, I'll take a guy and someone will say that's a reach, but they know that I took him for a reason. I had some research behind it, and they can, think what they want. But, it's not just a guy who's totally clueless and I'll just take this guy who was going to be available 4 rounds later, and everybody knows that. That just doesn't happen.
No.
So.
Well, there you have it. Thanks, Chris List.